Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
What up, thou? Welcome to the Boss and the Sauce Show Tailgate Talks edition. That's what we're doing today. And in the hot box today, I have my man over from Moose Money Bets. Moose Money Bets in the house. How you feeling, Moose?
Bigboss. I mean, best time of the year. Am I talking right? And you got some baseball playoff action going. You got college football starting up. You got NFL starting up. I mean, time is beautiful right now. And I got the guy, my boy, DJ Bigboss. Come on. Let's get going.
Hey, well, I could have probably did a better introduction, but I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the people, let them know exactly what you got on, where to find you, and all those different details before we jump into this tailgate talk.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter or X. I'm not sure what the vernacular is, but I'm at Moose Money Bets. You can kind of see it right down here. I'm doing a couple of shows this year. I'm doing some live streams with my boy at Picks from Dave. I've also got a morning show that's going to be on Pub Sports. That's going to be with at Dabby Cab. Going to be doing that morning preview show. Boss, I know you know all about that show. So open invitation anytime you, Ragu, anybody's available. We'd love to have you on. But you guys can find me there. And really, more than anything, I'm ready for football. I'm ready for college football.
Hey, well, you can count on me over there because I'll tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, when I brought up the tailgate talks and what's going on in this show, there's not a lot of cappers that I can reach out to that could really handle being in the heat today. So you ready for this heat, Moose?
It's been so hot here in San Diego, man. I'm ready for the heat. Come on.
So this is how the show is going to go down. First, I got a number of coaches changes for the year. I'm going to shoot them to you, and you tell me what you think, and we're going to keep or they cap. Then the next part of the show, we're going to go over to some athletes that have transferred over to some new schools, taking some new roles, and I want you to know if they're going to be a big deal or is this no deal. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to go over some teams that have a lot of returning players and some hopefuls for the year. And my man Moose Money Bets is going to let you know if it's going to be a bang or a bucks. So you got your coffee, water, whatever you need? You ready for this journey?
Ooh, I am ready, been ready. Let's take it off on here.
Hey, well, let's jump right in. First up, Nick Saban is out at Alabama. Have a great retirement and hope to see you back somewhere in football, period, because you're a great soul to the game of football. And then comes in Kalen DeBoer. This guy's really aggressive, kind of innovative guy. He went from Fresno State to Washington. Now he's at Alabama. They couldn't have picked a better man for the job for me. But Moose Money Bets, keep him or is this cap?
Honestly, this is probably the most difficult one because he's come in after a couple of big profile coaches at Fresno State. When he took over, Tedford was there and he took over a good program. And I don't think oh my God, Jimmy Lake. I don't think Jimmy Lake gets a ton of credit for what he did at Washington. Those were some really bad teams. And he came in as a DB secondary guy, kind of solidified some things on the back end. My big question about this is who his assistants are, because he brought in some questionable assistants. I'm going to go keep, though, because all he does is win. That's all he's done. Everywhere he's gone has been a winner. So I'm going to keep him, but I'm a little suspicious of some of the other pieces around him out there in Alabama, because that's Bama. They don't tolerate anything but winning. So I'm going to keep him, but I got some questions. I got a couple of questions about what I might see.
That'll give us something to look forward to going into the season. So I hope everybody who's watching this is excited because we're going to get to see how this rolls out this year. Next up, Jed Fish is down from Arizona in a good way. He lands a new home. But Brent Brennan, first chance of his coaching career where he gets a pure opportunity to show what he really can bring to the table. Because everyone knows that coaching in San Jose State is not the best coaching job in college football. What do you think right here? Keep Brent Brennan or is this cap?
It's interesting to look at kind of the history of some of the coaches that have come out of the Mountain West and into some of the big time. I mean, the most notable one would be Brady Hoke when he left San Diego State and went to Michigan and, just kind of flopped out there in Michigan and quickly came back to San Diego State. I like Brennan, though. He's an offensive guy. You look at some of his teams back in San Jose State, dude, they put up like 40, like on average. Like they were good offenses. He's got some solid assistants that he brought in. The defensive coordinator has been around Arizona for 12 years. He hasn't been in the position of DC, but he's been around the program for 12 years, and that's helpful. The only issue that I really look at, he has been horrific on the road, and he has been really bad on the road. On the road in his career, I got the note here. He's been 11-28, and Big Boss, that's not good. You can't survive like that. I'm going to keep him. Because I love his offensive mindset. Arizona seems like that's kind of their identity, is that they're going to be more of an offensive team, even though there are some pieces that have been kind of leaving. But I'm going to keep him. But the road issue might rear its ugly head here in a little bit. It might rear its ugly head a little bit.
Yeah, the road issue could also turn into, versus top 25 groups issues as well. So, and that's the hump that all the coaches are trying to get over. They want to be good versus those ranked opponents.
And that's a great point because he has never played a team in the top 25.
Yeah, so that's going to be another one to watch. We thank you, but we're going to keep that guy and move on to the next one. Here we go. Mike Elko, a guy I like and highly respect. He goes off for some better things in life, of course, and they bring in Manny Diaz. Now, me, myself, personally, I'm not a big fan of Manny Diaz, but he has a solid history coming in here. What do you think about Manny Diaz at Duke?
No, this is probably the worst hire I've seen. I agree with you. I'm glad you said that because I didn't want to have to, hear you go, yeah, he's a really good coach. He's done some good things. Like, he had a really talented team in Miami, and they were not good. I mean, they were bad. And you can blame it on COVID year and all that kind of stuff, but he was very questionable with his time management. There were some things down the stretches of games. You're like, wait, what the hell? He's not calling a timeout here? At Penn State, one of the number one things I saw was questionable play calls. Like there would be what looked like it was going to be a strong side run, and he blitzes from the weak side. And it's like, oh, okay, that's exactly what the offense wanted, and you are feeding right into it. I'm not having this guy. I think Manny Diaz is a little overhyped. I mean, quite a bit overhyped. He's been very inconsistent at times. He's had one of the best defenses in the nation at Penn State the last couple of years, and they did not live up to that hype. I mean, they were good. They were really good. But there were times where you'd see teams go up and down the field. They were better in the red zone. But I am not about Manny Diaz. I am on the same board with you, Big Boss. I'm not keeping this guy. Move on from him.
It's all cap. Let's go. Next up, this was a must replace because of Mel Tucker. But recently in July, Mel Tucker filed a lawsuit against the opposition and said that this was unrightful here. But Michigan State lands Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith, very talented coach, but in the state of where Michigan State is right now, keep him or cap?
I'm going to go cap. Main reason, struggles on the road and struggles against top teams. You're at Michigan State. You're going to be playing a lot more better teams now. So I know he's had some real success at Oregon State. And Oregon State was one of those programs that were like every year it seemed like they would just build up and up and up and up as the season went on. But I think that this is going to be a much different environment. You also alluded to it, Mel Tucker and the whole drama around it. I mean, how much of that is infiltrating to the players? Reporters are asking those questions. Is he the guy that can handle that? I think he's a great X's and O's guy. I think he is an X's and O's guy. But is he capable of leading a team on the road? Is he capable of leading a team against the top 25? Again, on the road, he's been 10-21. Versus top 25, he's been 4-10. So when he's had to face better competition or he's had to go on the road, he has not lived up to the challenge. So I'm going cap on him. Although I do like his X's and O's, but I am going cap.
You heard it right here first on the Tailgate Talks. Next up, Jimbo Fisher cashed that man out, $77 million. But they land Mike Elko, a great-minded coach who is suited for the job. What do you think about this with Texas A&M right here? Moose Money, you on the spotlight.
Yeah, keep him 100%. I mean, he's a great coach. The only major question I have is his teams get a little streaky. If you look at his last year, they won the first 4, lost 3 of the next 4, and then won 3 of the last 4. And damn near the exact same thing in 2022. In 2021, won the first 3, won the first 3 of 4, and then lost the rest. So he has been streaky. But we're also talking about Duke. So, I mean, getting streaky at Duke is an accomplishment. I mean, the fact that you're able to put those many wins together in a short amount of time is impressive. He's got a very good assistance group as well. I think A&M is going to be taking some leaps forward. I'm not sure if they are capable of being a top echelon team. You know, that first game against Notre Dame is going to tell, but one of the things Elko does, or actually, I'm not sure if I should go Elko or how my phone likes to say it, Elmo, but he's got a very big test against your Irish. But the Irish lost one of their main left tackles, and one thing Elmo, one thing he does is he is very, very good with lines, and I wouldn't be shocked if this ended up being a top 5 team in the playoffs, national title contender. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they were kind of mid this year, kind of, have some ups, have some downs. I really like Elko. I could talk about this guy for a while because he's done some amazing things. He's accomplished quite a bit. So I'm keeping Elko. Love that guy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. The sweetness to Elko to me is the fact that his class, he comes from a really high level class of coaches who he's coached under, players that he's coached, and people that he's worked with. So he knows what it takes to get to the top. But we down to our last keeper cap right here. We talked about it earlier, but here we go. Kalen DeBoer, we talked about going to Alabama, but Jed Fish comes over from a great season at Arizona and jumps into this Washington spot, but there's no more Pac-12. What is Jed Fish going to do right here at Washington? Keep him or cap?
You got to keep him for at least 3 years. You got to keep him for 3 years because he was able to do that at Arizona. It took him 3 years, but he got it done. He brings his offensive coordinator with him. That's huge. There's too many times the head coach will get hired and they bring in a whole new system, and it's like, didn't you get hired because of the system you had, and now you're trying to do a whole new system? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. He's still not a good, consistent road team. I expect that's going to get better as he has a little more time, but is he going to give time? Keep him. You have to keep him, though. You have to stay committed to the big picture, to the long term. If he's able to stick around, I think he's going to be a very good coach. But those first couple of years here at UW, they're not going to be great. Like, this first year, I expect is going to be bad. If you stay committed to him, let him get his players in, let him build up the program. Look what he does in year 3, because that's the big year. I think a lot of us as cappers know year 3 is the year that you start to see that trend, and it happened at Arizona. I wouldn't be shocked if it happens here.
So from capping to cappers, and we are cappers, that's why we on this show. So sounds like you kind of got an auto fade on Washington there. What you think?
Yeah. I mean, I took their win total under. They have a pretty difficult schedule, but I keep them, like I said. But this year, I cap UW as a rebuild year, and I think it could be a very tough year.
Oh, this you crazy mother.